Alright. We started. Alright, what's good, y'all? It's Chigozy. We're here with Jay Pilon, very good decoder, a friend of ours here on the Chigozy Truth channel. Check out his channel, Jay Pilon. Puts out really good decodes, good content. Today he did a stream about Marilyn Monroe's, her bloodlines. Very interesting. Especially all the blonde women we've been seeing in the media. And then to see that, you know, I think it's really, really crazy. And how Kate Upton, she does look a lot like Marilyn Monroe. And how the Paris Hilton and them are always dressing up as them. So, I think that's pretty interesting. So, right now I just opened up CNN. Looking at the propaganda. You know, Jay has a lot of things to share, so he'll definitely be sharing a lot of things. Chief Justice Roberts pauses contempt order in Mueller probe. This is just fake news propaganda. I mean, it's all mind control from the federal government. Order to withdraw U.S. forces from Syria signed. 9 more people arrested in Morocco tourist beheadings. This is complete fake news propaganda. 9, number for the sun, Islam, sun. Here, updated at 6:42. Saturn, 42. Freemason, 42. Zionism, 42. When you write out 9, you get 42. Updating this piece of propaganda at 6:42. Very clear what is going on. Very clear this coded propaganda from the Freemasons, from the Zionist Jews. 13 arrested after tourists killed in Morocco. 13 arrested, 9
this weekend.
beheaded. 139 like Freemasonry. 131's the 32nd prime. Jerusalem 32, America 32. Morocco, let's see what that sums to. 82, 37, 107, 38, 35. Let's look at today's date numerology. Today's the date with 35 numerology. So on the date with 35 numerology, Morocco 35, they're giving you this Moroccan propaganda. See how it works? Date with 73 numerology, the reflection at 37. We get that 107 kill number. So very clear the type of ritual going on here. Minute 18 video, death 118, death 213. Death equals both of these numbers. Death 213 in Satanic, death 118 in Jewish. They use this Kabbalah to code all their propaganda. And they put that inside the videos, and you can see how they're putting them right next to each other. Death 213 in Satanic, 118 in Jewish, right there in the videos inside the propaganda. So Jay, you got any thing for that?
I'm just trying to follow along in it. Hey everyone, this is Jay Pilon. I appreciate you Chigozy for having me on. You guys know my WordPress website is gematria.codes. Morocco, I haven't really followed through on Morocco or any decoding for it just yet. I've seen it's been in the news here and there, on and off. There's a lot of ritual killing that takes place, and this looks like the more or less the type of environment we're dealing with.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page with you. I had no idea about anything that Morocco was participating in until just now looking at this propaganda. No, I had no clue. But it's just like more ritual killing. And that's the thing, like, the beauty of understanding this code is that you don't need to like know all the little details. You can just see what they're putting out. See, it's always some ritualistic propaganda. Hey, what up, Truth Seeker, Conspiracy? You got these guys here. Catholic 35, Baphomet 35, Satan 35. I got people in the comments. Just check those out. 4 are suspected of killing 28-year-old Maren Uland of Norway. Remember, Morocco equals 107. That's the 28th prime. 28-year-old is dead. That's a big killing number. Morocco, 107. Kill equals 17, 28. Here we have this propaganda coded to the teeth. Every single time they put something out, it's so easy to see. Remember how we were just talking about the 2-minute 13 video? 213? Now look what they're saying. Nine others were arrested in different cities for the alleged connection to the four murder suspects. 2M reported. M's the 13th letter. 213. See, they keep telling you about 2M. That's 2M. That's all they're talking about, is mocking. You know, these three men were with the women. You know, these sketchy looking actors. Guys, this is a play. These are 3 actors for the federal government. Talking about pledging allegiance to ISIS. You see that? This is divisive propaganda. On December 14th, isn't that when Sandy Hook was? It was. Pardon, sorry. See, they have these in quotes. On Saturday, Moroccans gathered to mourn the tourist death. Hundreds of people held vigils with some holding signs saying pardon or sorry in English. Pardon, 68, 32, 94, 31, sorry, 32. So they both sum to 31, 32.
A lot of times when you guys see those italics, those parentheses, I know Chicozy and I were talking about that when we were discussing the QAnon stuff. In ancient Jewish tradition, they used to take that, and that would be your clue that this is what you need to study in gematria. This is what you need to use to decode italics, parentheses. Those specific words are the key words for you to decode.
Absolutely, Jay. Good point. Really good point. And that's the thing that we're driving in here, because it is that simple. We just witnessed how the numbers 31 and 32 are both these words. They're using this gematria to code this propaganda. This is the elite. It's how they roll. It's how they like to script the news. This is fake news propaganda from the Freemasons. So, you know, on to the next piece. Let's see if we got anyone else who's dropped in. Trey HFK. Yeah, I didn't know about Morocco either, Trey. Hey, Miss Mildred. Thanks for dropping in. Yep, Morocco 35. Yeah, I just heard about Morocco now, but we saw how it was just complete coded propaganda. We just saw it in like 5 minutes. You know, give you the... It's just like, that's what I really like what you put out today about the Marilyn Monroe symbolism, Jay, because I just do see a high saturation of blonde women inside the propaganda all the time. I know there's like a programming element with it. You know, the generic white blonde woman being killed by the terrorists. It's like that type of imagery they're trying to put out.
Yeah, a lot of the people that we see in public life and the public sphere, the people that we're introduced to, that we're familiar with, very often those people are a part of the elite. Those are the bloodlines of the elite. And earlier I did a piece on my gematria through YouTube where I was talking about, and it's also up on my website, gematria.codes, about the bloodline of Marilyn Monroe, and how that there's a lot of people out there, including Ellen DeGeneres, Princess Di, and so many others that were actually the cousin of Marilyn Monroe, including Helen Keller. And you have figures such as Amy Schumer, who steals a lot of her material. She has writers. However, her uncle is Chuck Schumer, a Democrat politician, member of the elite. So therefore, we hear about these certain individuals or these people that are highlighted into the public sphere for us to acknowledge because they are paired up. They're the ones that we're supposed to highlight and be aware of. Even in the case of Ann Coulter, who is the product of an FBI family. She comes from the breeding of FBI agents. So when we see a lot of these individuals, whether they're paid actors or whether they are bloodline. This is why we are familiar with them.
Very true. That sums it up perfectly. These are all people inside this bloodline. The president's all tied in. All these, that's what people ask, why do they get to come out? They're not talented, this and that. It's because they're in this bloodline. Everything the people you see in the media, it's all a show. They're specifically put out in front of you for specific purposes. A tsunami killed 222. There was no warning. 222. That order out of chaos
all the time. 222.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Order out of chaos 222. As above, so below 222. And what are they doing? They're using their fake weather manipulations to create these storms, these tsunamis, exacerbate things. And I'm sure, if this is all true, I'm sure more than 222 people died. And it was giving you some fake ass numbers.
Right, and even if the event does take place, as which I was telling Chikozy, let's say if it was 212 people that had perished, what very often happens is they're going to go ahead and round up to a specific number. So that in this case, they need to get to 222. Well, for us to say that there was 212 or 216, we wouldn't have any way of knowing that. We have to go off of the information that's provided to us from a very disinformation-oriented sources. We know that they lie so often that it's hard to tell whether these numbers are genuine, or if they've been rounded up to equal a certain numeric pattern.
Absolutely. And that is why these numbers really show how much fake crap this news is. They round up, they give you garbage. It's all programming. 6. I've been saying how 6 and 7 very special numbers to Ohio, because when you write those numbers out, you get their numbers for Ohio. The beauty of Earthrise at risk. There could be some NASA Freemasonry numbers in here, conspiracy numbers, just to see that pattern for space. 454, Sun 54, Saturn 93, Sun Saturn 45, the sum of Saturn's magnetic square, America 50. Earth has 25 gematria. Let's see Earthwise. Earthwise. Am I really saying this correctly? Earthrise. See, I was like, there's no way. Okay, I typed it in right. Because that was 4554. Earthrise. 59, like Freemasonry. 103, like Scottish. Revelation 49. Scottish with the 1-4 numbers, too. Or
if you add a NASA plus a Earthrise, you get 444 in your primes, showing a strong indication that they're connecting this word together with NASA propaganda that you get so often.
Masonic is 444 in Sumerian. A NASA, a Earthrise. I see, because they're entities, I do find that interesting. It's not, although it's not direct, because when I see those things, I think about how there's a organic side to the gematria, and how in gematria the whole thing is, it's not about the numbers and anything with that number means. This is what the Kabbalist said. Things will sum to a number. He said you have the number. That doesn't mean that things are bad or good or that's the number. It's the fact that those have that innate number to them, so they're already connected. So what I mean is just because you don't get much things like some of the 444, just getting some organic connection to that, kind of in that style, to this, and NASA's propaganda. I find it very interesting. It shows a deeper layer to this, more than what they're just putting in our face inside the news. So I think there's definitely so much more to this. Ritual equals 81. Updated 801. Race 18, Reflection.
What's this about the year in culture?
Yeah, it's Brave, Groundbreaking, Badass, Notorious.
I noticed that, see, the highlighting the feminine aspect is something that the news media is pushing. Again and again, they've started this in about 2016. It's the feminine goddess aspect that they're trying to push, this queen identity. The agenda here is for us to, at our subconscious level, get in the habit of recognizing the female goddess aspect in a push or an agenda for us to begin to want to see a more leadership with the females in it. And like I was saying with the Marilyn Monroe storyline, a lot of that, you know, Marilyn Monroe was the cousin to Princess Di and also Queen Elizabeth. So they're going to be looking for someone who is bloodline to be the female U.S. president and also be the female matriarchy in charge of different groups in order to put a new spin on it. As you've been hearing in the news every day, men are toxic. They have this toxicity that they've been talking about constantly, plugging that into our conscience.
Well said. Yeah, that's really what they've been putting out for some time now. Especially like in the last few years, I've been seeing a whole lot of that, and they're bringing females more to the forefront. Having Hillary run was a big like taste of that as well. And just Michelle Obama stepping out more as the first lady. Because we had Laura Bush was the first lady, but even before then, excuse me, they weren't as like out in your face as Michelle Obama's been. And they just been kind of softly disclosing that whole part of their agenda in that light.
Right there, I see it say censor on that CNN front page there. Censor in Gematria's 444.
Oh, nice. Very good.
I saw it was in italics or parentheses.
Yeah.
It could have been in italics. Italics is the technique that the Jewish, the ancient Jewish scribes would use in order to say, hey, take a look at this. You need to decode it using gematria. At a certain period of time, what was called the Tanakh period of time, there was supposedly roughly around 1 million people that were aware of gematria use and were applying it to all known languages at that time period. That's something that's been lost over time, but it's something that you learn in school. If you're in school in Israel, they teach you mathematics right alongside of English.
Very true. And that's I think that's just very important how like we learn math and just the letters and all that all at once, like at the same time. They're literally giving you all the tools to use Gematria. Right from an early age. That's why the people who still don't see this, they just don't get it. But that thing about Anthony Bourdain and the censor, I clicked on that, updating at 9:03, Saturn 93, Propaganda 93. You get Donald Trump, you get all these people have had Saturnian rituals on them. Ariana Grande, of course. So Andy Cohen's gonna be a dad. It's just more false Jew programming. Some foreshadowing too there. And then I guess we're going to talk about the shutdown, so we can use this piece and talk about the shutdown. Uncertainty mounts as Congress seeks to avoid shutdown. And understand there's no uncertainty. They know the end of the script. They know what they're going to do. They're just keeping you in this state of suspension. It's because this is a TV show. You're living out a play. They're going to make it suspenseful. Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan. I've been talking about these two actors all the time. They're always together inside the propaganda during these rituals. Dead 14, End 14, at 10:40, a lot like 14. House passes spending bill with $5 billion for Trump's border wall. You know, honestly, this whole time, like I'm still not gonna say they're gonna build a wall. Like I can't say for sure. I don't know if they're gonna lead all the way up to something and get stopped or whatever. But I know they've been like I knew that was gonna be a narrative they weren't gonna just throw under the rug. They're gonna like move forward with it. Because again, even if they don't build the wall, the fact that they're passing a bill and Trump's border wall is already in the bill's gonna have to be funded somehow through the tax dollars.
I know in Gematria, the long format, which I mess around with a lot, if you put in Trump build a wall equals 1110 in Sumerian. And you see this 1110 a lot. I talked about it earlier today. It showed up in the news whenever they were speaking about Chrissy Teigen. And at the same time, they were talking about Marilyn Monroe. Today would mark the 1110th day on the earth. If Marilyn Monroe was still alive, she would have been 92, I believe, today. So that was another 1110. Trump build a wall equals 1110 in Sumerian. When you see that, it's sometimes connected to something that's getting ready to happen. Not always, but it's more likely that we're seeing that because of it.
It's very interesting, yeah. And it's interesting you're putting that out today, and now they're talking about Trump building a wall with the spending just tonight. Well, this probably came out 3 days ago, but again, it's here in our face today. They didn't have to keep this in our face today. They could have taken it out, talk about something else.
In the comment section, he said border wall equals 110.
Oh, Bartley, border wall equals 110. You're really interesting. Just like president, too.
A border wall equals 666. A border wall 666. Also 222 in FB or Frank Baconis.
Wow.
Look at the symbolism of a border wall. 1110, 47, 33, 111, 111.
This is
pretty esoteric.
A border wall in Frank Baconis is 222. Like order out of chaos and as above so below. It's 222 if you do no capitalizations. This is pretty crazy. I mean, it just shows like there's some occult stuff going on. And I know I make it sound lightly, but no, I mean it's more than just that. But there's a whole lot with this letters and numbers practice, and you'll just kind of look at the deeper side of it. The more layers to it. But you can always see it from just the very surface layers. You can see what they're putting out, what the dates they use. I'm even noticing like February 15th, February 5th, very similar. But there's one other thing I wanted to point out was they had their propaganda updated at 10:40, and this is a 1:40 video. 14. It's just it's all by the same numerical system. Yeah, all of it is here. White House participating in some propaganda. That's all they like to do. Here, this all caps right here. This is coded with Gematria. Nancy does not have to apologize. All I want is great border security. Nancy Pelosi is an actor for the Freemasons. She does not care. Whoops. Great border security equals 118, like death. In Jewish Gematria, 233, the 51st prime, the 13th Fibonacci number, Federal 51, Conspiracy 51, Israel 98. (107) the 28th prime. Here, talk about 68 right here, very special number. World Trade Center construction began in 68. Pillar equals 68. George Bush graduated from Skull and Bones in 68. See here at 4:39 Universal Time. 39, Masonry 39, Zionism 39, Federal 39, 39 books of the Old Testament. Stuart Patrick. This guy's name is super coded with numbers for Freemasonry. I can tell you right now, whenever you see these NASA actors, they have the numbers for Freemasonry in their names, just like the police. If this guy doesn't have any of that, I'll be surprised. Because I think Patrick alone is one of those names. See? His name sums to 58. I completely guessed that. I didn't do the calculations in my head. And if anyone knew, I never say this to show how cool I am. It's nothing to do with that. It's to emphasize this is Freemasonic propaganda. It is super duper coded. I just said his name's going to have the numbers for Freemasonry only because he is a NASA actor, just like the police. They have the numbers for Freemasonries coded in their names every single time. It is a complete pattern. That's why I call this out. So that's why when people come here and say, yo, it's bullshit, I just not sure what they mean. Freemasonry 58. See, Stuart Patrick 58, and then Stuart Patrick 95, the reflection of 59. Freemasonry 59. See what I mean? It is bullshit propaganda from the Freemasons. Stuart 47, Freemasons with the 47 degrees on their compass. Patrick equals 33. Scottish Rite 78. Freemason 48. Patrick 666 in reverse Sumerian. That 111. The numbers we've been talking about. Kyle L. Evanoff. Let's see this guy. Let's keep this streak going with this actor from the Freemasons. Synagogue of Satan, 190. Vesica Pisces, 134, 53, 190. Very special shape. It's the shape of the football. It's a very special shape in mathematics and geometry. And NASA is all about space and time and mathematics and geometry. K is also the 11th letter, so you don't need to reduce it. So this gives you 80, just the number 8, connecting to infinite and time. Evanoff, 33. Freemason, 51. Masonry, 33. See what I'm saying? Saturn, 69, 30. Kyle L. Evanoff, 55. Kyle also equals 55. 53. NASA, 35. And just Kyle Evanoff, you get 49 like Scottish, 50 like Scottish, 122 like Freemason. So there you have it. I mean, I think that shows right here, this is coded propaganda, that I can literally say the numbers for Freemasonry were in his name, and literally the number for Freemasonry was his name. This is Freemasonic propaganda. That is why.
And this figure was connected to the NASA, right? That's what they were trying to say.
Yeah, that was one about NASA. That was Earthrise. The Earthrise.
Earthrise.
Yeah. Oh, we are racing toward Earth set. This one's also coded. It's in the quotes. Earth set.
Let's see. It's talking about the climate change. They're gonna get us on that.
Oh God, yeah. I've always hated climate. Like since way before this study, I've just hated the whole climate change. I'm like, why is everyone talking about climate change like it's some big bad thing? It's like, first off, no one knows what's really going on. This stuff is man-made. The climate's not changing as drastically as they were really saying it, and all the drastic changes are really their man-made manipulations. Everyone's talking about all these holes in the ozone layer. It's like, you can't prove that. You guys don't know that. Carbon emissions and all this shit. It's like, dude, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. It's the Freemasons putting on their weather manipulation and blaming it on climate change, carbon emissions and shit.
Have you seen anything in gematria about climate change that you've taken a look at?
Well, I just noticed how all the times when dates with 33 life lesson numbers or 33 numerology, they have climate change propaganda, they'll update it as something 33. Freemason 96, 48, like Earth set. I think climate change.
Just the word, just the word climate change is 47. It's also 232 in Jewish. If we want a long format it, or put in a long word, put in climate change hoax, you get 444 in primes. What they've been saying for years. Well, back in the 70s, And I know a lot of people aren't old enough to, well, anyway, in my social circle. But during the 70s, they used to doom and gloom on the radio, on television, about the Ice Age. And the Ice Age was supposed to start in the 1980s. It didn't happen. And then in the 1980s, they switched the story to we need to save the whales, because if we don't, we're going to have global warming because there's a hole in the ozone. Well, they said that the hole in the ozone had repaired itself, but that the global warming was still a problem. Then people began to tear that narrative apart. Once people started to tear apart the global warming false narrative, that's when they invented the word climate change. Well, naturally, the climate does change, and there's also such things as epochs, and there's such things as the cooling of the sun. The sun temperature changes, and therefore you get different changes here in the on the Earth. But also you have to look at the Grand Canyon. Human beings did not create the Grand Canyon, but if you were one of these climate change, hoaxers, one of these doomsayers, you would say, "Look what human beings did! They created the Grand Canyon."
That's ridiculous. Yeah, it's like they'll blame any natural thing on humanity and use it to control people. It's disgusting. And this thing is, that's the thing. You said it there. It's like this Earth has been around for billions of years. It's been around for a long ass time. I don't know exactly how long. Maybe the billions of years is not a real thing, but it's been around for extremely long time. It's not going to be the same exact weather patterns every single year, especially even if with the whole current narrative of how the Earth is spinning around and flying around, and like just all the math with that, using that model, it makes sense that the seasons change to a point where like it'll be warmer certain times. It'll be, like right now in Ohio, there really hasn't been any snow yet. But last year there was snow. A couple years ago there were, but I remember a few years before that there weren't. So it's like it's on and off. Yeah, I know. If there's any place to do weather manipulation, especially here with this Wright Pat Air Force Base, I'm sure Ohio is definitely one of the places. Ohio's some crazy weather, but even then, like it's just a lot. It's just the world, the way the world is. The weather's not going to be the same. It's not going to even be like super consistent year after year. And they're taking that and blaming it on people and saying, "Oh, it's you, it's your climate change, it's what you're doing." And then they can use that to create more solutions to their false problems. S.E. Cupp, this bitch ass actor for the Freemasons. I'm so sick of her and her propaganda.
I noticed Bartley mentioned the passing gas. That's something that they said that was the cause of earlier climate change was due to dinosaurs passing gas. Then they said, well, there's too many cows out here passing gas, and that's causing climate change, and we need to stop the cows from farting. How in the world? And also they said, well, the sun gets too bright sometimes and it gets too dark sometimes, so we need to stop the sun. The mere absurdity that they're talking about with this climate change nonsense, it goes on endlessly, and you can tell that it's a hoax. But for I guess for regular people that are plugged into this programming, they're led astray easily. They're persuaded by emotion rather than logical thinking regarding these topics.
Absolutely, man. And it's about the farting thing with the cows. It's so true. Like, so what most people know is that cows release more methane through they burp more than they fart, and there's more like methane in their burps. So if that's really what the high concentration, and even then though, that doesn't affect it like that. It's such a small part. But even then, like, why didn't they mention the burps instead of the farts? It's because farts are more believable. It's more easy to propagandize that cows are sitting there farting all day, the methane, and people know people generally associate methane with farting, but they don't talk about the burping. So if it was really so scientifically true and accurate, they would talk about that, not just the farting. So I think that's very true. I mean, it's like, and that's why I go. It's like, okay, if climate change was so real, why do they need to make all this propaganda to make it believable? Cows farting, putting on wildfires, blaming them on climate change, creating these natural disasters on purpose, talking about holes in the ozone layer that aren't there. Like, if you're making shit up and then saying that it's called climate change, why would I sit there and believe that's even a thing? Like, it's clearly not. If you have to make completely like everything up about it, like there's not even a thing that's like kind of real and they kind of exacerbate it. No, everything they talk about climate change, all the reasons are completely fictitious. Because climate change is completely fictitious.
I see it says Elon Musk's tunnel was 114 miles. Did you check that out?
Oh yeah, I was, you know, in the back of my mind, like my mind caught onto that, but I didn't.
His name is 666. I didn't realize that.
Elon Musk? Oh.
Yeah. I thought his middle name is A. I could be wrong. I just put in, I'm not sure if I spelled it wrong or not, but I got 660 or 666. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. If his middle name is A, yeah, it would be. Let's look at his propaganda. I think, you know, the same numbers I was talking about. Freemason, space, Saturn, Sun, conspiracy. Just that pattern. Government 52, prophecy 52. 5 + 2 is 7. That's 5 and 7. Moon 57. Kabbalah 52. See Elon Musk here in the minute 39 video. Freemasonry 139. I mean, this guy is such a Freemasonic actor. Everything he is in the numbers for Freemasonry. Freemasonry 139. Elon Musk. It's propaganda. Where was that?
Getting in that room. Yeah, if I'm too loud. Maybe he needs a warm bottle, probably.
Oh, it's propaganda. Minute 45 video. Catholic 145. 95 seconds. 35 miles per hour. So, again, NASA brands their propaganda all the time. Tesla propaganda is NASA propaganda, is what I tell everybody, and it's so easy to see. We traveled mostly at 35 miles per hour. Feel faster. Notice how there's really no numbers here at all, besides, you know, the 114. But here we get 35 miles per hour. NASA, just using alphabetical order, N's the 14th letter, A's the 1st, S the 19th. Add them all, 35. Right here. I even like the feel faster. F's the 6th letter, FF 66. When you write out 33, you get 66. Revelation is 66th book of the Bible.
Did you see the Ann Coulter stuff? I know I talked about it just briefly, that the news media was blaming Ann Coulter for the government shutdown as well as Rush Limbaugh. I mentioned that in my Marilyn Monroe thing. It was in the news media. I don't know if it's on one of the main screens there or not.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I just seen it on the home page. Huh?
I said, here we go with your DuckDuckGo. I see you.
Oh yeah. It's funny though. I never. I still think they track. Like I don't, because you know they say DuckDuckGo, they don't track you. I've never like fully believed. I mean, who knows? They might not track you, but I'd never fully believed that. I was always like, why am I supposed to believe that?
Down below, you can see it where it says Ann Coulter predicts that Kamala Harris will be our next president.
Oh, wow.
And if she's no longer going with Donald Trump, there you're going to go see Kamala Harris. And I've been studying this for a little bit. What happened was a artist, and I've got it up on my page. I think it's Anthony Anderson was the name of the artist. I'm probably way off. I've got it listed on my my Twitter page. Artists put together this president's, it's Andy Thomas, I'm sorry about that. There's these two esoteric works of art that depict predictive programming of a future female U.S. president. One painting is all Republicans, and in the background you see this female figure. And then in the second picture, it's all Democrats, but you still see the same exact female figure. And if you take a look at this painting that was done, it's sitting in the White House. This painting is actually in the White House. I think Obama has the Democrat one. Trump has the Republican version. There is a female walking towards the table, and that's predictive programming. They're setting it up for this future female president. In the picture, she somewhat does look like Kamala Harris. If you want to take a look for this painting, it's called Andy Thomas, ANDYTHOMAS, and it's called The Presidents. I don't know if you're able to pull that picture up or not. There they are. And it's in, okay, I think if you keep scrolling down, you'll be able to find one. President's, but there it is, right?
That's
which one is the one with, where's the one with the female? Okay. Over one. There you go. That one right there that you just had. Up one. Up
one.
Up. Yeah, up again. And to the left. You have to go up again. Okay. It's not the other, it's not that one, it's the other one. To the left again. There you go. That's the one.
This one? Does a female come in
down below? Down below it. The one with all the guys. Well, the one with Trump